Field hockey once again on CardsTV. I'm Sean Moth with head coach Justine Sowery. The Cards in Bloomington on the weekend, taking on Indiana and Ohio. And we start with the Indiana match. And I know the result's a little disappointing, but you guys certainly battled in one of the first road tests of the year. And I know that you're happy that the team was able to turn it into a victory over Ohio. So overall, you seem pretty pleased with the weekend.
Yeah, a little bit up and down with the weekend, but when you take away the actual result of the game, we actually gained a lot from that Indiana game, and we definitely had our opportunities. We had the lead, and we dealt with a very strong Indiana lineup. They have a lot of movement through the midfield and the forward line, and we were able to handle that, put together a couple of nice passages of play as well, and put goals on the board. And we didn't handle the game very well late in the game, but we took a lesson from that, and we applied it to the next day, and overall a pretty good weekend.
Having played them 3 weeks ago in an exhibition, I have to believe that both coaching staffs kind of stayed close to the vest and didn't really show a whole lot. Did that have any benefit to you leading into that game, or do the exhibitions just really get thrown out once you meet somebody in the regular season?
Yeah, I think that you don't pay that much attention for that first game because you really only have about 10 days to get ready for that first scrimmage. So it's always a good opportunity to hit the ball around and see what you have on the field. But Indiana is pretty good. They have a couple of really nice, strong players, and we knew it was going to be much harder than our first game against them.
Sure. We go to the Ohio match, Cards up against the Bobcats, a former conference foe in the MAC, and you get goals, first career goals from two individuals. That's got to be exciting for Paige and Elisa.
Oh, Paige, Paige's goal is outstanding, and she was very surprised by it, and it was very unexpected, but she had a great weekend overall. She played 2 solid games, probably our most consistent player over the weekend. So she was rewarded with an outstanding goal, and then Elisa's goal, and you'll see it is beautiful, very nice bit of skill work, and she's starting to gain more and more confidence now. The Ohio game, it was not a pretty game. It was tough, it was physical, it was a bit run and gun, which is not really our style, but we were able to handle a lot of pressure late in the game, and it was a very good and well-deserved victory.
And you talk about different styles. A lot of us that aren't real familiar with the sport maybe don't even think about how different styles can be. You know, no different than any other sport, whether it be basketball or football. And I know that's something you adapt to. Is there a way to define the style of play of the Louisville field hockey team?
I think that's the players that we have right now. We try to be a nice passing team. We really try and develop the ball from the backfield, nice combinations. I think, in terms of our ability to score, is probably more conducive to counter-attacking style, which is a little bit contradictory, but you see our style come up well when we play against those teams that have a similar style, and it is beautiful hockey.
Yeah.
And the Indiana game was one of those games, whereas in contrast the Ohio game was just a little bit more hit and physical and contesting the 50-50 balls, which we're not good at, but we're going to be facing another opponent this weekend where we're trying to simulate that in practice a little bit.
Sure. Cards are in East Lansing, Michigan, kind of a hotbed of the last few years for a pretty good team in Michigan State. The Cards will meet up with Central Michigan to begin with, and then depending on the result of the other match, either American or Michigan State in a Friday-Sunday setup. And I know that this kind of weekend gives you a little bit of the NCAA feel because you've got those caliber teams and you play with the day apart, so it's got to be a nice weekend for you and the squad.
Yeah, I think we'll use it as a trial run, I guess, for when we're hosting the Big East later in the year, that we've got to take care of the first opponent. And Central Michigan is another tough opponent. They gave us a very hard time in the spring, in the spring tournament, but they're a good team, they're well coached, and we'll have to be ready for that game in order to go on to the final on Sunday.
And how difficult is it when you don't know your opponent on Sunday to scout? Is that something where each of your assistants will have a scout on one of those teams and see? Because you have an opportunity to see them in person, which I imagine has to be a huge benefit. But then again, you get about 36 hours before you turn it around and face one of them.
Yeah, my assistants, Lucas and Kirsten, they're preparing for 3 teams this weekend. Certainly give the most attention to Central Michigan, and then straight after our game that we play, we get an opportunity to watch them anyway. But you obviously have to watch both opponents. And that's what happens in tournament play, so it's a good opportunity for our players and staff alike.
Good. Safe travel. Best of luck to you and the team.
Thank you very much.
For Justine Sowery, I'm Sean Moth. Great to have you along as always. We look forward to talking next week right here on Cards TV.